Good afternoon. Thank you so much for being here today. I want to thank Dr. Saccone and Dr. KPC for inviting me here to my beloved alma mater. I am just thrilled to be here this afternoon and to discuss my teaching career and a project that my seniors and I are currently working on called Agents of Change. I'm really excited about it, and I hope that you enjoy learning about it today. I just want to say before I begin that you have chosen the best career there is. I can think of nothing as important and fulfilling as being an educator, and I believe that teaching English is the best vehicle for social change because it's so open, and that openness to possibilities is what inspired me and drove me to be an educator as a teacher of English, precisely because I was drawn to the idea of writing one's life. And through the examination of other people's stories, we can revise, envision, and enact our own futures. I will begin with about a 10-minute narrative biography of my education and teaching career, and then I will speak about my work at Lafayette High School and then Lafayette International High School, and give you a little background as to the demographics and population of the school. In part 3, I will dive into how I thought about developing the curriculum for this particularly challenging year, and then we will explore the Agents of Change public art project. Growing up, I didn't recognize how deeply the disparity in wealth was between myself and my classmates. I noticed that they went on family vacations and I did not. I recognized that they all drove cars and I could not afford one. But it wasn't until applying to colleges that I recognized how deep those divides actually were and how important they were in shaping the rest of our educational careers and lives. So I had two different experiences. I had the experience of growing up with my father who was ill and disabled. I saw the paths that some of my uncles had taken into illegal activities and substance abuse. And I also had the upper middle class exposure of my friends and classmates. I believed that education was the path that I could follow in order to create a stable life for myself. I left home at 17 and I never really returned again. Being a first-generation student, there was a lot I did not know. I didn't really know how to be a good student or where my life was taking me. I knew I was interested in education and being a teacher, but I wasn't ready to be an education student. I saw those education students and they looked organized and professional. My choices were whether to feed myself or the cat. I wasn't ready to be in a classroom. I enrolled as an English writing arts major, and by my senior year, I was a double major in philosophy as well. This was because whenever I had the chance to take an elective, I always took a philosophy class. It wasn't my intention to be a philosophy major, but that foundation was extremely important, not only in my work as a teacher, but the person who I am today. During that time, some of the most important things I learned in my undergraduate study was in my philosophy of ethics class, and that was something that American philosopher John Rawls developed. It is called the veil of ignorance, or the original position. He was trying to understand how to envision a more just society. He devised a thought experiment where he posits that all ethical considerations should be undertaken in the veil of ignorance. Beneath this veil, one does not know their age or gender. One does not know their political orientations, their racial or cultural background. They do not know whether they are able-bodied or disabled, or what their sexual orientations are. He believed that this would create the fairest and most just society. For me, this idea of the veil of ignorance established for me the foundational perspective to take when encountering any moral, ethical, or economic dilemma. It established that all humans had similar needs and wants. We want to be happy, we want to be loved and to be loved. We want to be able to pursue our hopes and dreams in freedom. And the differences among us happen because of systems that we are playing out our roles inside of. This understanding is also foundational to my work with its purpose in helping students to see themselves as active citizens in our fight for social justice and equality. After graduating from SUNY Oswego, I again didn't know where I was going, so I joined my brother who was living in Buffalo, New York, and began my teaching certification here at Buffalo State College. My student teaching placement was a bit non-traditional. I spent the semester teaching and learning at Masaryk University in Brno, Czech Republic. In addition to counting towards half of my student teaching, I received a CELTIS certification. In addition to counting towards half of my student teaching, I received a CELTIS certification. CELTIS stands for Cambridge English Language Teaching to Adults. One objective I hoped to gain was a deeper understanding of the grammatical structure of English, which I still did. But more importantly, it deepened my appreciation of the English language. English is one of the few languages that lacks a formal council that regulates usage. Usage is dictated by great orators. It was also during my time at Buffalo State College where I met my now husband and partner, Dan Shanahan. We met in late Victorian literature on the second floor of Ketchum Hall. He was always staring at me, and I thought he must have really liked my responses and interpretations to Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Later, he told me it was just my Long Island accent. One Friday afternoon, I was studying in the Fireside Lounge, the second floor of the Student Union that no longer exists, and he was sleeping on the couch. He was sleeping on the couch because he had no home